Boys, today we're going to be going over the fastest way for you guys to actually end up getting stubs. If you guys want some God Squad cards, this is going to be the way to do it. There are a lot of different ways to kind of go about it, but basically, you guys should be making upwards of 200,000 stubs an hour doing this method. At the end of the year, this is the best that it's ever been, and there's so much stubs to be made. If this video ends up helping you guys out, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub, and let's get right into it. As far as things that you can play to actually end up getting stubs, the best way to make stubs in the game right now is the brand new event. Now, I know that nobody's really too happy about Eloy Jimenez or Will Clark. I mean, Eloy's going for a little bit. He's got 1 mil buy orders, but you got to keep in mind this came out like 2 hours ago. Will Clark again. And on top of these two cards, the big money in the event is going to be these rewind packs, man. They are going to be so good because Trey Turner is a lock at 1 million stubs. 35 wins gets you 1 million stubs in the game right now. 45 wins gets you another 1 mil. So by getting 45 wins in this event, you are at least making 2 million. But let's be honest, you're probably going to make at least 2,200,000 stubs based on these two cards, which is absolutely insane. We haven't had an event like this in the game, and it's simply because these rewind packs are absolutely broken. Now, other than the event, some things that you can actually end up doing is single players moments, and it's going to be the tops now. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, why would I do tops now? It's really late. This is why, is because the tops now cards are actually going for a lot of stubs, especially some of the old ones. You go to the market and you can actually end up making about 50 to 60,000 stubs by just doing one of the tops now moments. If you haven't ended up doing it, nobody wants to do these at this time of year, and so they're going for a ton. 38k for Mark Canha, 20k for Joe Ryan, 44k for Aquino, and Grandal is going for 50k. Sell now. Like, you got to keep in mind that this is really good, and it's not gonna get worse because nobody wants to play moments at this time of year. As far as the stub method goes, it's going to be a flipping method because that is the best way to actually end up going about it. And I'm going to be talking about actually some different cards here that you guys can end up flipping. A little bit different from my last video, although the finest are still really good. Now, the first cards I'm going to talk about flipping are going to be cards that if you have a lot of stubs, you can actually end up flipping with. As you can see right now in the top left corner, I have 900,000 stubs, so I got a lot to work with. And some of the cards that you guys are going to be flipping today are going to be high volume cards, as well as kind of some slower movers for a lot of stubs. Some of these big gap, low volume cards that I'm talking about have been some of these prime cards. Matt Harvey, 252 to 140 is really good. 416 to 300 is okay. That's about a 30k flip. And then Jake McGee going for about 150,000 gap. Now, some of these are really big and some of these are a little bit smaller. Pee Wee Reese is a really good one that's low volume too. 280 to 422. That's at least probably 60 to 70,000. Now, the one problem is this is low volume, so you're probably gonna have to grind at this for about a day. But if you get one of these flips a day, it's gonna be about 70,000 to 80,000 flip right there. That's huge. The first cards with good gaps that I'm going to end up talking about getting into is going to be these finest cards, man. These finest cards are still absolutely amazing. I talked about them a little bit in my last stub video, but Yuli Gurriel, 29 to 43, that is huge. So, for example, if you guys are wanting to know how you guys end up doing it, because I always have a lot of questions in the comment section, you're going to put in a buy order for 29,602, which is 1 stub higher than the highest sell order on the card. And you can see that you're going to end up getting that. Let's say that it fills and I'm selling it right now. Then you put one in for 43,990 because that is 1 stub less. You can see that I'm making 39,591 stubs, which is a 10,000 stub gain from doing that order. You can tell that by the seller will receive 39,000 and the sellable, which is what I just put the order in, for about 10,000 stubs less. So each time you flip Yuli Gurriel right now on the market, you are getting 10,000 stubs. Now, whenever you're doing this, you're not just going to be doing one card. You're going to be doing it flipping over and over again. And after Yuli Gurriel, you're just going to look to the next best guy, which in my opinion looks like Starling Marte right here. Starling Marte looks really good, so we'll put one in for 29,815. And then once this fills, we'll put in a sell order for 42,894. and that's gonna put us at about a 9,000 stub per flip for Starling Marte. Once that order fills, we'll end up doing that. And so Yuli Gurriel, Starling Marte, I usually like to pick about 4 cards while you're doing this. One thing that you can also do is if you have a phone, obviously, and you have the MLB The Show companion app, use the companion app. You can do this in class, in school, on the bus. Let's say you're on a road trip heading back from the holidays, you can actually end up doing that. Now, I would stay away from some of the smaller flips like Walker Buehler here. Bo Bichette looks good. Brandon Woodruff looks good. I bet anything with about an 8,000 gap at least is something that is good. You should be getting about 20 to 30 flips an hour at the minimum. And if you're getting 20 to 30 flips an hour, that's 200,000 to 300,000 stubs made per hour. I think you guys are starting to understand how disgusting this method is. But these finest cards are definitely the ones to go right now. I love the finest cards. Now we're also going to be talking about a different type of set, which is going to be the Tops Now. Now the Tops Now have always been really good. The only thing about the Tops Now, not only do they move slower, but there's just not as much of a demand for a lot of these guys. Like Jazz Chisholm's one that I would say probably moves a little bit faster. I flipped him a couple times. Eddie Rosario flips a lot because of the really good power versus right and how he's at least a really good bench bat. But then again, he's got that postseason card, so nobody really wants this card. Mark Canha's another guy, and so what I will say with this is although these gaps are amazing, like you can see Joe Ryan, 20,000 to 8,800 is really, really good, but you probably only get about 1 of these flips an hour. So if you want to end up doing that, just keep in mind that you can end up flipping Tops Now and finds at the same time, and you'll probably get a little bit more stubs, but it's really tedious. And so usually I like to just stay on one page and do the finest cards. Obviously do whatever you want, but that's just kind of the way that I've always gone about it. Lastly, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. The one thing that I am going to say is if you need stubs fast, one thing that I would do is go to single player modes, go to the conquest. Now you can see here that there are a lot of conquests that I definitely haven't ended up doing. I bet a lot of you guys haven't done them either. One thing that you can do if you don't know where all of the hidden locations are is don't finish the conquest. Just go and get all the free packs and it'll actually add up so amazingly. So what you're going to do is literally go and look up East Infinity 5 Conquest Hidden Rewards on YouTube. And there will be a YouTuber that probably has a video out on it. Probably Blade Mist or one of those guys. But these are usually really fast ways to get stubs. Another thing you do is the Run It Back program, especially now it's later in the year. A lot of people don't usually play this, and so those cards have actually skyrocketed a little bit, going for about 15 to 20k. But if you're going to do that, I definitely do the Showdown instead of the Conquest. But the Conquest honestly isn't that bad if you really just want to do it. But just kind of looking at some of these is going to help you guys an absolute ton because there's so many free packs that you can get and redeem for stubs. Now, I am going to say that whenever you're doing this, it's going to be a lot slower than just flipping. But if you want to do this while you're flipping, or do you want to do Tops Now moments while you are flipping, that's going to be whenever you make a dumb amount of stubs. Now, boys, if this video ended up helping you guys out, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub. We're so close to 6,000 subscribers. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and peace.